Hello friends, in this video I'm going to give you information about the Filezilla. Filezilla is an open source FTP client. Now FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol. This protocol is designed to transfer the files between client and server. So let us say you have one server and you have a client. And you want to communicate with your server through the client. Then if you want to send files, retrieve files, then the protocol through which this happens is called as File Transfer Protocol or FTP. It is different from the HTTP. For HTTP you will need the browser to send or receive the requests, but here in FTP you do not need a browser. You can just standalone programs can work as a client and server. One thing to notice is that this is an open source. That means you don't need to pay to download and install this tool. It runs on port 21 and 22. So the server has got these ports 21 and 22 reserved for this FTP protocol. But you can configure your server to run on other ports as well. But these are the default ports. Now what's the difference between 21 and 22? On port 21 the protocol runs without extra security, but on port 22 secure FTP protocol runs. Is FTP. This is just FTP. 21 means FTP, simple file transfer protocol. But on port 22 it runs secure FTP protocol. It means it is more secure. So if you are worried about the security of your server or the files, then I will recommend you connect your server through SFTP, that is on port 22. Now what things you need to send or receive files or connect to your FTP server? You will need hostname, that is the name of the server. Next you will need the user ID of the FTP account. You will need the password. But there is alternative. If you do not know username and password for the FTP account, you can also authenticate through public key authentication procedure. Using public key private key pairs, you can also manage that thing. You will see in the computer like how to connect to specific host or the FTP server and then transfer the files. Now once you are connected, you can view, edit, upload, delete files from the server. You can upload the files from local system or the client to the server, or you can also download the files from server, vice versa. Some alternative softwares for this Filezilla are WinSCP. This is another popular FTP client software that you can use. If you do not like Filezilla, you can go for WinSCP. Now I will take you to the computer and show you how to download or install this FTP Filezilla and connect to the FTP server, then do most of these regular operations. I will also talk about what kind of errors you can face while using this Filezilla software. So let us switch to the computer now.
So this is the project filezilla-project.org, this website. You can go to this website and download this Filezilla client, or you can also download it from this website sourceforge.net. So I have already downloaded this software, and this is how it looks like when you first time open it. On the left hand side you will see your local files, like see your local drives, CD, whatever. So this is client side files, as you can see. And if you want to connect to the server, what you have to do is you have to put the host name here, name of the server here, and you can see that for normal FTP protocol you have to use FTP://. If it is SFTP, you have to use SFTP://. Then here you have to go to the username. Now username has to be suffixed with host name. Like if username is say XYZ, then actual username should be XYZ at name of the host. Then password and port. So you can see the default port is 21 and for SFTP it is 22, and then you can click on quick connect. Or you can also go here and add this sites. If you have many servers, you can add this here. Like I have added this server priyaslovelykitchen.com over here, and you can see that this is in the host field I have put it here. Then protocol I have selected is FTP. Then user, you can see this is the username I have used, and when I try to connect, it will ask me for the password. Similarly, you can add new sites. Just click on this one, and then here you can add new site. Here you can give the name of the new site, and then again username and password, etc. All those things you can give. And to connect, as I said, you have to use this thing. Hostname, then username. Port is 21 by default, so I'm not gonna enter anything there. So now it is connected, and on the right hand side you can see that earlier there was blank white screen over there. Now the files from the remote server have been displaying here. Just to go into the any web folder, just double click on that, and then the contents of that particular directory will be shown over here. And then if you want to, let us say, open any file, just right click and then click on view edit. So that's how you can view, or you can also edit the files. You can download the file, create new directories, delete the files, and set the file permissions. All these things you can do here. And if you want to, let us say, move files from your local system to your server, FTP server, then you can just right click on that and then click on upload, and then a file will be uploaded in this particular directory. Or you can also do it like that, move the files using this mouse, and the details will be shown in the bottom screen here in the queued files. If the file fails to be transferred, then failed transfer will be shown here, and then a successful transfer will be shown over here. Sometimes due to the network problems, some files transfer fail, and then they will be shown here. And these are some of the buttons that will allow you to set the display layout. So like that, you can change the display. You can disconnect, cancel the current operation. Let us say you are transferring 1000 files from your local system to the server, and then you realize that there is some mistake and you want to stop this. Then you can stop this operation using this button. And then if you want to disconnect from the current server, you can click on this one. If you want to connect to the last wish server, you can use this button. So that's all how you can connect to the server. And another thing that I wanted to show is you can also use the public key or private key pair to do the authentication. And here you can see that if you select SFTP, that authentication is required for the SFTP. Support public key authentication, you have to add your private key over here. So just add your private key file here, and public key file should be on the server. So that is how you can use this Filezilla to transfer the files. Now I will explain some of the errors that you may get. For example, if you mistype your server and then try to connect, you will see this error, couldn't connect to the server. Then let us say you mistype the password. For most of the people will fail to type the correct password, sorry, username. So normally this is my username, reply to Sagar, and they forget to enter this @ and then server name. You have to retype the server name after this @. So if you do not do that, only type this thing, then see what happens. Couldn't connect to the server, login authentication failed. So these kinds of errors you will face. Couldn't connect to the server, login authentication failed. So to fix that, just add @ and the name of the server and then password, and then try to connect to the server once again. And if you are still not able to connect, then you need to check your username and password once again. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna enter a different password here. Then let us see if what it says. So it is again saying login authentication failed because password is wrong. So username and password is wrong, then you will get this kind of error. That is how you can use this Filezilla. If you have any questions related to the Filezilla, let me know through the comments. Thanks for watching this video.